What the hell are you doing? Sebastian Crane's voice shot across the patio as he dropped his briefcase. It hit the stone with a solid thud, but he didn't stop. His pace quickened. The pool came into full view. His daughter Ella, 7 years old, was in the shallow end, soaked to the bone, floaties on her arms, water flying as she laughed. In the pool with her was a woman, but wearing a soaked black t-shirt and shorts. No one else was around. Sebastian stepped to the pool's edge. Ella, right now. She stopped moving. Daddy, I said get out of the pool. She paddled to the steps and climbed out, water dripping from her small frame. Her floaty squished as she walked. Her smile was gone. The woman followed her out, slower, dripping water with every step. She stood straight, didn't speak. Sebastian pointed at the girl. Are you okay? Did something happen? I'm okay, Ella said. She was teaching me. He turned to the woman. What's your name? Amara Johnson. You work here? Yes, sir. Housekeeper. You thought it was a good idea to get in the pool with my daughter? She asked me to help her float, Amara said. I agreed. We stayed in the shallow end. She had floaties. I never left her side. You don't get to make those decisions. She was sitting at the edge, sir. She said she wanted to learn. I kept it safe. You don't decide what's safe for my daughter. I do. Amara didn't speak. Sebastian looked at Ella. Did you fall in? No. She didn't push you? No. I asked her to help me swim. She's not your teacher. Ella's voice got quiet. She said I could trust the water. Sebastian turned back to Amara. Who told you that you could take that kind of liberty? No one. Exactly. He stepped closer. You're lucky nothing happened. If she'd gone under... She didn't. That's not the point. I understand. No, I don't think you do. I wasn't trying to cross a line, Amara said. I did what I thought was right in the moment. It wasn't your moment. She didn't reply. Sebastian pointed at the house. Ella, go get dry. But... now. Ella looked between them, then walked slowly to the glass doors, leaving a wet trail on the patio. Her shoulders were hunched. He didn't watch her go. He looked at Amara again. I don't ever want to walk into this house and see something like that again. It won't happen again. But, go get changed. Then stay out of sight for the rest of the day. Yes, sir. She turned and walked away, her wet shoes squeaking on the tile. Sebastian stood alone. The pool was calm now. Not a ripple in sight. But the image was burned in his head. His daughter laughing, floating, arms spread wide. Trusting someone else. Looking up at that woman like she meant something. He ran a hand over his face, annoyed. He walked to the nearest outdoor cabinet and grabbed a fresh towel. He turned and followed the wet trail toward the house. He found Ella inside, standing in the hallway, barefoot and dripping. He handed her the towel. Dry off. She nodded and started wiping her arms. Where's your nanny? She's off today. So who told you it was okay to go out back? I just wanted to sit by the water. And then, I asked her if she could show me how to float. You know how dangerous that is, right? She stayed with me. That doesn't matter. Ella looked up. Are you mad at me? No, he said. But I'm not happy you put yourself at risk. I wasn't scared. She helped me breathe. Sebastian didn't answer. He looked at his daughter, wet, wrapped in a towel, floaties still on her arms. She looked small. She looked like her mother. He sighed. Go change. She walked toward the staircase. Sebastian stood in the hallway for a moment. Then he walked into his office, sat at his desk, and pulled up the home's surveillance system. He rewound the backyard feed. The footage showed everything. Ella at the edge of the pool. Sitting. Feet in the water. Talking to Amara, who was wiping the patio furniture nearby. Then the girl pointed to the pool. Amara hesitated. Then nodded. They stepped in together. Amara didn't leave her side. Not once. Her arms hovered behind the child as Ella floated. She adjusted the floaties. She said something, he couldn't hear what, but Ella nodded and paddled forward. Sebastian sat back. She hadn't been careless. She'd been careful. He closed the video. Amara Johnson sat alone in the laundry room, towels still clinging to her damp shoulders. Her uniform was half-dried from the staff dryer, but she hadn't moved. Her hands were folded tightly in her lap. The door opened without warning. Mr. Langston stood in the doorway. "Mr. Crane wants to see you." "Now." She stood. "Where?" "His office." He didn't wait. She followed him silently through the hallway. Her footsteps on the hardwood echoed louder than usual. The silence made her stomach twist. Langston stopped at the door and knocked once. "She's here, sir," he said, then opened the door and stepped aside. Sebastian Crane sat behind his desk, sleeves rolled up, tablet in hand. He didn't look up. "Close the door," he said. Langston did. Amara stepped in. Sebastian finally looked at her. "Sit." She sat in the straight-back chair across from him, hands still folded. He set the tablet down. "Tell me what happened. From the beginning. I want your version." "She was sitting by the pool," Amara said. "Feet in the water. She asked me if I could help her float. I told her we'd stay in the shallow end. She wore her floaties. I never left her side." "You didn't think to ask someone for approval?" "No one else was around. The nanny was off. I didn't plan it. It wasn't part of my duties." "No, it wasn't." His voice was sharp. "You were hired to clean, not to supervise swim lessons." "I wasn't teaching. I was assisting." "You're not trained to assist." "I've worked with kids before. I knew what I was doing." "Doesn't matter." He stood and walked around the desk, arms crossed. She could have drowned. Slipped. Panicked. "You know what kind of lawsuit that would be." She didn't panic. "I made sure of that." "You're not a lifeguard." "I'm not. But I was responsible." He stared at her. "What made you think you had the right to make that call?" Amara hesitated. "Because she asked." "That's not a good enough answer." She looked sad. Lonely. She said her mom used to hold her in the water and make her feel safe. She asked if I could help her feel that again. Sebastian's face twitched. "I hesitated," she said. "But I didn't want to say no. Not to that." "You still should have," he snapped. "That was not your call." "I know." He circled slowly behind her chair. "You've worked here 3 months. I've heard no complaints. Ella talks about you. But today? You crossed a line." "I didn't mean to." He moved back to the desk and picked up the tablet. "I watched the footage. You didn't push her. You didn't take your eyes off her. I'll give you that." Amara stayed silent. She laughed. "I haven't seen her laugh like that in 6 months." Amara's head lifted slightly. "I didn't do it for praise." "You're not getting any." "Understood. I run this house with structure. Boundaries. That includes you." "I respect that." "Then show it." "I will." He stared at her. "You're not fired. But I need to be crystal clear. This doesn't happen again." "It won't." "You stay in your lane, Amara." "Yes, sir." "If she asks you to do anything outside your role, supervise, teach, console, you say no. You call someone else. You notify Langston. You never take initiative like that again." "I hear you." He narrowed his eyes. "Do you?" "Yes, Mr. Crane." He exhaled and walked to the window. "Do you have kids?" "No. But you knew how to calm mine." "I just listened. That's all." He didn't reply. She stood. "May I be dismissed?" He didn't turn around. She waited. Then, "Why does she trust you?" Amara answered softly, "Because I talk to her like she's a person. Not a problem." Sebastian stayed quiet. Amara left the room. As the door shut behind her, he still hadn't moved. Ella sat at the kitchen island, poking at her grilled cheese sandwich with a fork. "Use your hands, sweetheart," said Monica Hale, one of the newer rotating nannies. She scrolled her phone without looking up. Ella didn't move. From the corner, Mr. Langston stirred his tea, watching the exchange. He said nothing. Ella finally asked, "Is Miss Amara coming back today?" Monica glanced up. "She lives here, right? I'm sure she's around somewhere. She usually talks to me before bedtime." "Well, maybe tonight's different." Ella frowned. Did she get in trouble? Monica didn't answer. Mr. Langston cleared his throat. Eat your sandwich, Miss Ella. It's getting cold. Ella took a small bite, still looking toward the hallway. Upstairs, Amara was in the linen closet refolding towels. Her hands moved automatically, but her thoughts were elsewhere. She didn't want to go downstairs. Not tonight. Maybe not for the rest of the week. The door creaked. She turned. Vivian Crane stepped inside. Elegant. Impeccable. Sebastian's mother. I thought I'd find you hiding, Vivian said. I wasn't hiding, Amara replied. Vivian raised a brow. Then you were avoiding. Same difference. Amara resumed folding. Just keeping to my assigned areas. Vivian leaned against the doorframe. I heard about what happened. I'm sure you did. And I saw the security footage. Amara paused, then placed a towel on the shelf. She looked happy, Vivian added. Ella. In the water. I didn't mean to overstep. Of course you did. But you did it kindly. Amara said nothing. Vivian looked her over. You're the first person that Childs responded to since the funeral. Do you know that? Amara turned. I didn't do anything special. You listened. That's rare in this house. Amara hesitated. Mr. Crane made it clear where the line is. Vivian smiled faintly. My son loves order. Control. But he's blind to warmth when it's not on a schedule. I don't want to lose this job. Then stay smart. Don't make yourself indispensable. Just stay useful. Amara didn't respond. Vivian stepped out, then looked back. And don't let Monica bully that little girl into silence. She's just a nanny. And you're not just a maid. Downstairs, Monica's voice rose. You can't just sneak off every time you don't like what someone says, Ella. I just wanted to ask Miss Amara something, Ella said softly. You need to stop depending on her for everything. She's staff, not your best friend. Ella's eyes dropped. Mr. Langston said firmly, That's enough, Monica. I'm just saying what someone needs to. You're saying it in front of the child. Well, maybe someone should have said it sooner, Monica muttered. Amara appeared in the hallway just then. Ella looked up. Miss Amara. Monica straightened. Speak of the... I'll take over, Amara said quietly. Monica folded her arms. Sebastian said, I know what he said. Ella slid off the stool and walked to Amara. Can I show you my drawing? Amara glanced at Monica. We'll be upstairs. Monica didn't argue. Up in Ella's room, Amara sat on the carpet while Ella showed her the new drawing. This is me and you at the pool, Ella said, holding up the picture. Crayon waves and 2 stick figures with floaties. You drew that for me? Amara asked. Ella nodded. Amara smiled. I love it. Ella hesitated. Is Daddy still mad? He's not mad. He's just learning how to be careful. Are you leaving? No. Ella relaxed. Good. They sat together for a moment. Quiet. Ella leaned against her. I don't like that new nanny. She's just doing her job. She doesn't smile. Then you smile for both of you. Ella giggled. Downstairs, Sebastian stepped out of his office and walked into the kitchen. Where's Ella? Monica, arms crossed, replied, Upstairs. With the maid. He stopped. With who? Amara. She came in and said she'd take over. I didn't argue. He looked at Langston. Langston nodded. I allowed it. Sebastian exhaled and walked to the staircase. He paused at the top, listening. Through the cracked bedroom door, he heard laughter. Ella's voice. Amara's voice. He stayed there a while, not moving. Then he turned and went back downstairs. Sebastian Crane sat across from Dr. Carmen Hill in the private pediatric counseling office. The walls were painted light blue, a calming color. Ella played silently in the corner with blocks, occasionally glancing up. She's withdrawn, but not disconnected, Carmen said. She listens. She responds. But she's careful with her emotions. Like she's afraid to express too much. She's been through a lot, Sebastian replied. I know. That's why I wanted to speak with you directly. He looked at Carmen. Is she okay? She will be. But she needs consistency, safety, and most of all, connection. I'm trying, Sebastian said. You're providing a lot. But she's still a child, Mr. Crane. She needs more than a perfect schedule and a list of approved caretakers. He exhaled. Are you suggesting I change the staff again? No. I'm suggesting you pay attention to how she responds to the people already here. He raised an eyebrow. Meaning the only time I've seen her smile naturally was when she mentioned someone named Amara. Sebastian blinked. She said, and I quote, Miss Amara talks to me like I'm big but still lets me be little. Sebastian looked toward his daughter. She trusts her, Carmen said, more than anyone else in the house. Sebastian didn't respond. I'm not telling you how to run your home. But as a doctor, I'm telling you this. If Ella finds safety in someone, don't take that lightly. He nodded once. Understood. As they left the office, Ella slipped her hand into his. He looked down. Her fingers were small, damp with sweat. He didn't let go. Back at the mansion, Amara was in the kitchen with Mr. Langston, organizing the pantry. I can handle the dry goods, Langston said. You've done enough. I don't mind, Amara replied, stacking rice bags into a neat row. Langston looked at her. I've worked for this family 22 years. Never seen that child laugh like she did this week. Amara gave a small smile. You got something most people don't, Langston said. I just listen. That's exactly it. The front door opened. Sebastian walked in with Ella. Amara and Langston turned. Ella immediately ran toward Amara. We saw Dr. Carmen. Oh yeah. Amara crouched. How'd it go? She has a basket of toys and jelly beans on her desk. I got 2 red ones. Lucky. Sebastian stood watching. Ella held up a sheet of paper. And I drew this. Amara took it. It was a stick figure with giant curly hair standing next to a shorter stick figure with a blue tie. Is this me and your dad? Ella giggled. No. That's you and Mr. Langston. Langston raised an eyebrow. I'm honored. Sebastian stepped forward. Ella, head upstairs and wash your hands. Okay. She ran up the stairs, paper flapping in her hand. Sebastian turned to Amara. I need a word, he said. Langston stepped out without being asked. Amara stood straighter. Yes, sir? He studied her a moment. You made her laugh. She laughs all the time. Not with me. Not like that. Amara didn't speak. She told her therapist you make her feel safe. I didn't know she said that. I did. He folded his arms. I was angry when I saw you in that pool. I understand. But I watched the footage again last night. Watched her face. Amara stayed silent. She hasn't smiled like that since the funeral. Not once. Amara swallowed. She just needed someone to meet her where she is. She needs a lot more than that, Sebastian said. But apparently, you gave her something I couldn't. I'm not trying to take your place. I didn't say you were. He stepped back. Starting tomorrow, you'll still do your regular duties. But I'm assigning you one more task. What task? Spend time with Ella. Not as a nanny. Not as a replacement. Just someone she trusts. Amara hesitated. Are you sure? I wouldn't say it if I wasn't. She nodded once. Yes, sir. He paused at the doorway. And one more thing. Yes. She said you make grilled cheese better than Monica. Amara smiled. She likes them crispy. She said you make them happy. He left the room. Upstairs, Ella stood on the landing, out of sight, listening. And smiling. Monica Hale stood at the edge of the hallway, arms crossed, lips tight. She had just overheard Sebastian giving Amara new responsibilities. Spend time with Ella, he'd said. Unbelievable. She turned sharply and walked straight to the staff office. The door slammed behind her. She pulled out her phone and typed furiously. An email to Vivian Crane. Subject: Concerns regarding staff boundaries. Downstairs, Amara sat with Ella in the sunroom, building a puzzle of sea animals. The girls' laughter echoed softly through the open door. Monica watched from the doorway, arms still crossed. Langston approached her. Something wrong? Monica kept her eyes on the scene. Did you know she's being promoted? Langston's brow lifted. Promoted? She's the maid. She cleans bathrooms. Not bond with the billionaire's daughter. Mr. Crane made the call. He'll regret it. Langston said calmly, that child hasn't smiled like this in months. And that makes Amara qualified? She didn't ask for the role. She earned it by being human. Monica scoffed. We'll see how long it lasts. Later that afternoon, Sebastian sat in his home office, reviewing contract drafts. His phone pinged. From Vivian Crane. Subject: concern over staff behavior. Body: Monica has shared troubling details regarding inappropriate boundary blurring between Amara and Ella. You may want to reassess this before it becomes public perception. He leaned back in his chair. Langston, he called. The butler appeared at the door. Yes, sir? Did Monica speak with my mother? I imagine so. Sebastian sighed and stood. Find Monica. Send her to me. 5 minutes later, Monica walked in confidently. You wanted to see me? She said. Close the door. She did. He sat down. You sent an email to my mother. I did. You accused Amara of boundary violations. I raised concerns. Which are valid. She's overstepping. You're not Ella's therapist. Or mine. I've worked with high-profile families before, Mr. Crane. I know the risks of emotional attachments to domestic staff. It blurs the chain of authority. She's 6. Exactly. Children don't understand hierarchy. Sebastian narrowed his eyes. But adults do. And if they feel threatened by someone else's effectiveness, they usually react out of ego. Monica's jaw clenched. He continued, Do you feel threatened by Amara? No. Then why the email? She's untrained. She was hired to scrub countertops, not shape my daughter's emotional development. And yet she's done more for Ella in 3 weeks than you have in 3 months. Monica straightened. So I'm being replaced? No. You're being reassigned. Effective immediately, your duties will shift to logistics only. Scheduling. Communications. No direct childcare. You can't be serious. I am. She's just a maid. And you're just dismissed from this room, he said flatly. Go. Monica stared at him, her cheeks flushing. Then she turned and left without another word. Down the hall, she passed Amara near the staircase. Amara gave a polite nod. Afternoon. Monica said nothing. Amara paused. Is everything all right? Monica stopped walking and turned. Don't get comfortable. This house eats people like you alive. Amara didn't blink. Thanks for the warning. I've seen this story before. The pet maid. The favored, help. It never ends well. I'm not trying to be favored. I'm just doing my job. Then maybe try sticking to it. Monica walked off, heels clicking harder than necessary. That evening, as the household settled down, Amara went into the kitchen to clean up after dinner. Vivian Crane entered from the hallway. I received your performance review, she said lightly. Amara turned. From Monica? She called you the emotional saboteur of structure. Rather dramatic. Amara gave a faint smile. Sounds accurate. Vivian looked her over. My son doesn't make decisions easily. If he's asked you to stay close to Ella, it's not impulsive. I didn't ask for that. No. But you'll be punished for it all the same. Amara tilted her head. Should I be worried? Only if you forget what role you're in. This house moves slowly, but it never forgets who breaks the rules. I didn't break anything. You did something worse. You filled a void. Amara folded her towel and placed it on the counter. If caring about her is a problem, I'll let him fire me himself. Vivian watched her a long moment, then said, Don't be noble. Be smart. Then she turned and walked away. The next morning, Amara entered the dining room early to prepare breakfast trays. Mr. Langston had already laid out the silverware. Good morning, she said. Langston nodded. Oatmeal and berries today. Ella requested it last night. I'll handle it. As Amara prepared the food, she noticed a thin envelope placed at the end of the island counter. No name on the front. She opened it cautiously. Inside was a single note, typed and signed. Watch your step. Some roles are not meant to expand. She stared at it for a moment, then folded it and slipped it into her pocket. Vivian Crane entered moments later, dressed immaculately in beige silk. "Good morning, Amara," she said. "Morning, Mrs. Crane." Vivian sat down at the smaller table near the window. "Ella's still asleep?" "Yes, ma'am. Mr. Crane said he'd bring her down when she woke." Vivian nodded. "Lovely." Amara continued setting the tray. She felt Vivian's eyes on her the entire time. "I spoke to Monica last night," Vivian said casually. Amara didn't respond. "She's not pleased, obviously. But I find her dramatics exhausting. What concerns me more is how quickly my son has allowed deviations in household structure." Amara set down the berries. "Mr. Crane gave me a direct instruction. I'm following it. Yes. And I wonder how long that will last." Amara turned slightly. "Is there something I should know?" Vivian smiled without warmth. "Yes. You're not here to be special. The moment you become essential, you become dangerous. To the system, to the staff, and to yourself. I didn't ask to be essential. You didn't have to. You let the child need you. I didn't push her. You were present. That's all it takes with children who feel invisible." Amara took a breath. "If this is a warning, just say it." Vivian stood, walked closer and lowered her voice. "You seem like a smart woman, Amara. So be smart. The help don't survive long in this family unless they stay small. Unthreatening. Replaceable. I'm not playing politics. That's why you're already at risk." Sebastian entered from the side hallway, holding Ella's hand. "Morning," he said. "Morning, Daddy," Ella beamed. "Miss Amara made oatmeal." Sebastian smiled faintly. "So I've heard." Vivian gave her son a polite kiss on the cheek. "I'll be in the garden." She left with poise. Sebastian turned to Amara. "Everything all right?" "Yes, sir." He looked at her more closely. "You sure?" "I'm fine." Ella climbed into her chair. "Can we eat in the sunroom?" Sebastian glanced at Amara. "You want to join us?" She nodded. "If that's allowed." He gave a short laugh. "You're the only one she'll eat next to lately." They took the tray and moved toward the sunroom. Vivian watched from the upstairs balcony through the glass. She sipped her tea slowly. Later that day, Amara stepped outside to take out the trash. On her way back in, she nearly bumped into Monica, who stood blocking the rear entrance. "You should be careful who you trust in this house," Monica said. Amara didn't flinch. "Is this about the note?" Monica's smile faltered. "What note?" "You've been subtle," Amara replied. "But not quiet." "I didn't write anything." "Doesn't matter. The message is clear." Monica leaned in. "You're playing with fire. Vivian doesn't lose." "I'm not playing anything." "That's your first mistake." She walked off without another word. Amara turned back toward the house and stepped inside. That evening, Sebastian returned late from a board meeting. He loosened his tie and walked straight to the sunroom. Ella wasn't there. He checked the kitchen. Empty. "Langston?" he called out. "In her room, sir," came the reply. He headed upstairs and opened Ella's door. She lay on the bed, reading, while Amara sat beside her. They both looked up. "Hey," Sebastian said. "Hi, Daddy." Amara stood. She asked for a bedtime story. "I was just about to leave." Sebastian looked at his daughter. "Everything good?" Ella nodded. "Miss Amara knows all the good voices." He smiled slightly. "I'll take it from here." Amara nodded. "Good night." As she exited, Sebastian followed her out into the hall. He lowered his voice. "Has anyone said anything to you?" Amara paused. "About what?" "About you spending time with her." "Any pushback?" Amara considered her words. "Nothing I can't handle. If someone threatens you, I need to know." She met his eyes. "Why?" "Because Ella needs stability. And you've become part of that. If anyone tries to pull you away, they're crossing me." Amara nodded. "Understood." He added, "If my mother says anything inappropriate." "She already did." Sebastian's jaw tightened. "What did she say?" Stay in my place. Be small. Replaceable. He looked furious. I'll talk to her. No, Amara said calmly. You don't need to. She's testing me. I'll pass. He studied her. You're not here to pass anything. You're here because you're good at your job. I know. He nodded once. Get some rest. She walked away. Down the hall, Vivian watched from the shadows again. She didn't smile. Malcolm Price walked through the side gate of the Whitmore estate wearing a pressed gray suit and holding a thin leather folder. He was a man who blended into any room, clean, unreadable, and always watching. Mr. Langston met him at the back patio. You're early. I prefer it that way, Malcolm replied. Where is she? In the East Garden. With the girl. Langston hesitated. She doesn't know you're coming, does she? No, Malcolm said. That's the point. He walked across the stone path, weaving through tall hedges and manicured rose beds, until he spotted Amara seated on a bench. Ella was laying on her stomach nearby, drawing on a sketchpad. Amara looked up as footsteps approached. Can I help you? She asked. Malcolm stopped 3 feet from her. My name is Malcolm Price. I work for the Whitmore family. Ella looked up. Amara stood. Does Mr. Whitmore know you're here? Malcolm smiled politely. He's aware I'm conducting an internal review. I'm here on behalf of his mother, Vivian Crane. Amara stiffened. Ella whispered, What's going on? Amara knelt by her. Why don't you go show Mr. Langston your drawing, sweetheart? Ella stood slowly and walked off. Amara turned back. You have 5 minutes. Malcolm opened his folder. Your full name is Amara Reed. Born in Baltimore. Single mother, deceased. Graduated top third of your class at Crestview High, didn't pursue college. 3 prior housekeeping jobs. No criminal record, no debts, no assets over $5,000. Amara didn't respond. He flipped a page. There's a 5-month gap on your employment history 2 years ago. Care to explain? I don't owe you an explanation. I wasn't asking as a courtesy. I don't report to you. You do now. Amara folded her arms. You're here to dig, fine. But you won't find anything illegal. Malcolm closed the folder. We're not worried about illegal. We're worried about influence. You've become very close to Ella. That raises concern. Is that what Vivian's afraid of? A child laughing? She's concerned about boundaries. Power shifts. Uncontrolled emotional ties. Well, maybe if she showed any of those things to her granddaughter, someone else wouldn't have to. Malcolm didn't react. Amara stepped forward. You can dig all you want, Mr. Price. But I'm not hiding anything. He tucked the folder under his arm. People who aren't hiding usually don't react like this. Amara smirked. People who aren't threatened don't send private investigators in broad daylight. She turned and walked back toward the house. Malcolm watched her go, then pulled out his phone. She's clean, he said into the receiver. But she's bold. Vivian's voice came through. That's what worries me. Inside, Sebastian was finishing a call in his office when Langston knocked. Mr. Price is here, Langston said. Sebastian looked up. He wasn't scheduled until Friday. He came on Mrs. Crane's orders. Sebastian stood. Where is he now? Just left the garden. He spoke with Amara. Sebastian's eyes narrowed. Find him. 2 minutes later, Malcolm was standing in the office doorway. Sebastian shut the door behind him. You went around me. I conducted a check per your mother's request. You had no clearance to speak with Amara directly. She's employed on this property. That gives me access. You're not family. I work for them. Then remember your place. Malcolm gave a slight bow. Understood. Sebastian stepped closer. If you make her feel threatened again, I'll blacklist you from every contract I touch. Understood. Malcolm nodded. It won't happen again. Get out. Malcolm left without another word. Langston entered quietly. Shall I alert Mrs. Crane? No, Sebastian said. She'll hear about it from Malcolm. I want her to know I'm watching too. Langston hesitated. Sir, Amara is holding her head high, but she looked shaken. I'll talk to her. That evening, Amara stood on the back porch, staring out at the lit pool. The water shimmered under the garden lights. Sebastian approached quietly. He had no right, he said. Amara turned. So you knew? Not until after. I didn't authorize it. Your mother did. I'm handling her. Amara crossed her arms. I'm not trying to stir anything. I just do what Ella needs. I know that. Then why is everyone treating me like I'm dangerous? Because you matter. She frowned. That's supposed to be a threat? It's a warning. Not from me, from this house. She looked back at the water. I'll protect you, Sebastian said. I don't need protection. I need room to breathe. I can give you that too. They stood in silence for a moment. Then Amara said, if this keeps going, it's going to hurt Ella. That's what I care about. Sebastian nodded. So do I. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. Ella was in her room, building a castle out of cardboard boxes. Sebastian was reviewing reports in his office. Downstairs, Amara vacuumed the study, earbuds in. Then came the knock. Not the front door, the side entrance used by service staff and deliveries. Langston opened it. A man stood there, early 40s, wiry build, in a wrinkled button-down and scuffed shoes. His eyes darted past Langston into the hallway behind him. I'm looking for Amara Reed, he said. Langston didn't move. Who's asking? Name's Isaiah Vaughn. I used to know her. Tell her it's important. Langston studied him for a beat. Wait here. He found Amara near the laundry room. She pulled out one earbud. There's a man at the side door asking for you. Isaiah Vaughn. Her face froze. You know him? Langston asked quietly. Yeah, she said. Unfortunately. She walked briskly to the side door. When she saw him, she stopped cold. What are you doing here? Isaiah gave a crooked smile. Nice place. Real upgrade from your last job. I asked what you're doing here. I was in town. Thought I'd drop by. See how you're doing. I haven't seen you in 3 years. Yeah, well, life happens. She folded her arms. Cut it. What do you want? Isaiah shifted. I heard you were working for some billionaire. Thought maybe you'd help me out a little. Amara blinked. Are you serious? Come on, Amara. I'm not asking for much. Just a couple hundred. I'm in a tight spot. Still gambling. He scoffed. I'm trying to get straight. But you know how it is. You always used to help me. That was before you stole from me. That was one time. You pawned my rent money, Isaiah. I paid you back. 3 years later. In tears. After I tracked you down. He shrugged. I'm just trying to make things right. No. You're trying to use me. Again. He stepped forward. Look, you're living in a mansion. You clearly got money now. I'm staff. I don't own anything here. Isaiah looked toward the garden. That your boss's kid? The girl? Amara's eyes narrowed. Don't even think about it. I'm not saying anything. Just, you always get attached, huh? She stepped forward, voice low. You show up here again, I'll have you removed by security. I'm not the girl you used to manipulate. Isaiah raised his hands. Message received. He walked away, hands in his pockets. Amara stood still for a long moment before turning and locking the side door. Upstairs, Vivian Crane stood in the hallway, having seen the entire exchange through the window by the staircase. She dialed a number. Malcolm, she said, look into a man named Isaiah Vaughn. He just visited Amara. I want everything. Today. That evening, Sebastian found Amara in the kitchen, scrubbing a pot harder than necessary. He leaned on the counter. Langston told me someone came by today. Yeah, she said, not looking up. You want to talk about it? Not really. Too bad, he said. Talk anyway. She sighed, put down the sponge, and faced him. His name is Isaiah. Ex-boyfriend. Used to live with me back when I was juggling jobs and trying to help him get clean. He wanted money? He always wants something. You tell him no? Loudly. Sebastian nodded. He a threat? Not unless you give him an open bar and a bad idea. He crossed his arms. If he comes back, I'll have him banned from the property. Already warned him myself. You want me to follow up? She looked at him. You're not my bodyguard. No. But I am responsible for what happens inside this house. And Ella likes you. Amara's voice softened. This has nothing to do with her. Sebastian said, everything does now. Amara nodded. I get it. He paused. You okay? She exhaled. Yeah. Just tired of people from the past thinking they still have a claim on me. Well, they don't, Sebastian said. Not here. He turned to leave, then stopped. You handled it well. Amara gave a small smile. You're not so bad at the protector thing. He smiled back. Don't spread that around. That night, Vivian met with Malcolm in the conservatory. He handed her a file. Isaiah Vaughn. History of small-time fraud, gambling charges, rehab stints, and 4 outstanding debts to payday lenders. Vivian flipped through it. And his connection to Amara? Former boyfriend. Lived with her for a while. No legal ties. But they were close. She bailed him out more than once. Vivian closed the folder. Perfect. What now? Malcolm asked. We leak it. To who? A reporter who covers social influence and celebrity staff. Subtle hint that a certain employee of a certain family may have questionable connections. Malcolm raised an eyebrow. Won't that point back to you? It won't come from me. It'll come from someone Monica knows. Understood. Vivian smiled. Let's see how loyal the maid remains when her image is tarnished. Monday morning started like any other, until Sebastian's phone buzzed nonstop. 3 missed calls. 2 from his publicist. 1 from his general counsel. Then a text from Talia Mendez, senior writer at The Standard, a digital outlet known for exposing scandals in elite families. Need your statement household staff. Connections to known fraudster Isaiah Vaughn. Going live at noon. Sebastian stared at the message. He called his publicist, Dana Liu. Tell me it's a hoax, he said. It's not. Mendez got the leak from an anonymous source. Background file on Amara, highlighting her past relationship with Vaughn. She's tying it to Ella's care. Says you've endangered your daughter. Sebastian swore under his breath. Can we kill the story? Too late. They're publishing. You have 1 hour to issue a preemptive statement. Draft something. Now. He hung up, grabbed his blazer, and stormed out of the office. In the maid quarters, Amara's phone buzzed as well. A text from an old friend. Girl, you're trending. #Maid scandal on Twitter. She clicked the link. Her photo, blurry but recognizable, appeared under the headline. Billionaire's maid has shocking ties to convicted con man, and his daughter is in her care. She scrolled down. The article quoted anonymous insiders questioning her judgment. It referenced Isaiah Vaughn by name. And it ended with a punch. Sources close to the Whitmore estate say Mr. Crane's controversial affection toward the maid has blurred lines of professionalism and created a dangerous emotional dependency. Amara stood frozen in place. Then came the knock. It was Sebastian. Come upstairs, he said. Now. They sat across from each other in his office. Dorsha, I just read it, she said softly. So did I. You think I leaked my own dirt? Of course not. Then say it. I know you didn't, but the court of public opinion won't care. They're going to twist everything. Amara kept her hands folded. Vivian did this. Sebastian didn't argue. I want to quit, she said. No. I'm putting your daughter at risk. You're protecting her. This house doesn't believe that. I do. He stood, walked to the window, then turned back. You quitting solves nothing. It tells them they were right. Amara looked up. What do you want me to do? Stay. For how long? Until this dies down. It won't. I'll make sure it does. Amara stood. That's not your job. Sebastian stepped closer. Maybe it is now. They stared at each other in silence. I won't let them define you by his mistakes, Sebastian said. Amara's voice cracked slightly. They already did. By noon, the story had been shared 14,000 times. #Maid scandal was trending. Photos of Amara and Ella flooded social media. Speculation followed. Was she a gold digger? Was Sebastian sleeping with her? Was Ella in danger? In the conservatory, Vivian Crane sipped tea. Monica sat nearby, scrolling her phone with a smug expression. She hasn't left yet, Monica said. She will, Vivian replied. Pressure always cracks the unworthy. By evening, Sebastian released a public statement. Amara Reed is a valued and trusted employee. The recent claims against her are both unfounded and deliberately misleading. I trust her fully, as does my daughter. This matter is closed. It was short, but it didn't stop the storm. In the guest house that night, Amara lay awake. Phone silenced. Curtains drawn. Ella had cried that afternoon, not because of the article, but because her teacher asked if the woman in the news was her new mother. Amara had no answer. She didn't cry, but her throat burned for hours. Then came another knock. She opened the door. It was Langston. You should see this, he said. He handed her a tablet. It played a new video from a nurse named Carmen Hill. The caption read, I worked with Amara Reed. And here's what the press won't tell you. Carmen sat in scrubs, clear-eyed. I met Amara when she was working part-time at a care facility. She took double shifts just to support her mother, who was dying. Amara didn't have much, but she gave more than anyone. She washed patients others ignored. She brought them music, laughter, dignity. So when I saw her name dragged through the mud today, I couldn't stay silent. She's not perfect, but she's honest. And your kids are lucky to have her. The video ended. Amara blinked. Langston said quietly, it's going viral in reverse. People are defending you now. She nodded. Thank you. Langston added, and the staff, most of them are with you too. That night, Sebastian walked into Ella's room. She was already asleep, arms wrapped around a stuffed bear. On the nightstand sat a drawing. Ella, Amara, and Sebastian, all smiling. Underneath, she had written, My family. Sebastian stared at it for a long time. Then he turned out the light. Tuesday morning, Amara came down to the kitchen early, hair tied back, uniform neat, movements calm. But her eyes were tired. Langston greeted her with a nod. Good to see you here. I don't hide, she said. You also don't have to carry everything alone. Amara gave him a look of quiet gratitude but said nothing. The doorbell rang. Langston checked the monitor, then turned to her. It's her. Vivian. Amara didn't move. Let her in. Vivian Crane entered the kitchen like she owned the house, because she did. She wore a cream-colored suit and diamond earrings that caught the morning light. Amara didn't speak first. Vivian removed her gloves. You've had quite the week. Amara placed a coffee mug on the counter. You want one? No. I came to talk. Amara folded her arms. Then talk. Vivian Saturday, you're not the first staff member who's misunderstood her place. I know my place. Vivian raised an eyebrow. Do you? Because it seems my son believes otherwise. Amara replied evenly, your son sees clearly. That's the problem. Vivian leaned forward slightly. Let me be clear. I don't care how many people come to your defense online. I don't care what sad little video some nurse posts. None of it changes the truth. And what truth is that? That you're temporary. Amara didn't blink. Ella doesn't think so. Vivian's lips tightened. You think this is about Ella? This is about legacy. Control. I won't let a maid rewrite this family's narrative. You already lost control, Amara said. That's why you're here. Vivian stood abruptly. Don't mistake survival for victory. The storm hasn't passed. She turned to leave. Amara said one last thing. You're scared of a woman who has nothing. That should tell you everything. Vivian didn't respond. She walked out. Sebastian found out about the visit 30 minutes later. He stormed into the kitchen. She came here? Amara didn't turn. You already knew she would. I told her to stay out of this. She doesn't listen. He stepped closer. What did she say? Nothing new. Did she threaten you? She warned me I was temporary. Sebastian's jaw clenched. You're not. That's not your call. It is now. Amara finally faced him. What does that mean? Sebastian didn't hesitate. Move into the guest house. Permanently. She blinked. What? I'll double your salary. Give you full custody authority when I travel. Private security. Health coverage. Amara stepped back. Why are you doing this? Because you matter. And I'm tired of pretending that you don't. Silence. Amara said quietly, this is your guilt talking. No. This is me choosing what's right. I can't be your statement. You're not. I'm your employee. He nodded. Not forever. She shook her head. Don't do this. Sebastian took a deep breath. Then tell me to stop. Amara didn't answer. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of a cafe across town, Carmen Hill sat across from investigative journalist Dana Liu. Dana closed her notebook. Why now? Carmen replied, because she saved my father's life. She worked night shifts and still sang to him. These people attacking her have no idea who she really is. Dana said, you know the Crane family will retaliate. I'm not afraid of them. Dana looked at her for a long moment, then said, neither is she. By evening, the pressure reached its peak. A second article dropped, this time a direct rebuttal. Who is Amara Reed? The woman behind the viral smear campaign. Written by Dana Liu, it laid out Amara's work history, testimonials from patients, families, and staff. It exposed the connection between Isaiah Vaughn's resurfacing and the anonymous leak. It didn't name Vivian, but it hinted loud enough. By 8 p.m., #StandWithAmara was trending. Comments flooded in. This is why we protect good people. She's not the scandal, she's the system's mirror. Vivian Crane needs to sit down. Back at the estate, Vivian sat in her private lounge. Monica entered, holding her phone. It's backfiring. Vivian didn't respond. The maids become a symbol. They're turning her into some kind of hero. Vivian's voice was calm. Then let them. Monica hesitated. You're giving up? No, Vivian said coldly. I'm waiting. For what? Vivian stood, walked to the window, and stared out at the lit pool below. For her to make one mistake. That night, Amara tucked Ella into bed. The little girl clutched her hand. You're not leaving, right? No, baby. I'm not going anywhere. You promise? I promise. Ella smiled and closed her eyes. Amara stood, turned to leave, and found Sebastian standing in the doorway. He said nothing, but in his hand was the drawing again, the one Ella made. The three of them, with the word family scrawled in crayon. He placed it gently on the dresser. Then he walked out. Wednesday afternoon. Sebastian walked into his mother's wing of the estate without knocking. Langston followed, tense. Vivian was seated at the piano, fingers resting lightly on the keys. You leaked it, Sebastian said flatly. Vivian didn't turn. Is that how we greet family now? You leaked that file on Amara, and then tried to smear her with that pathetic press stunt. Vivian finally looked at him. I protected our name. No. You tried to erase hers. She's a maid, Sebastian. She's raising your granddaughter. Vivian stood. And that's exactly why this conversation is happening. You're letting a girl with no pedigree, no background, no filter, become the face of this family. She's not a face. She's a person. She's a risk. She's loyal. She's poor. Sebastian stepped forward. Say that again. Vivian didn't blink. She doesn't belong here. You don't get to decide that anymore. Vivian tilted her head. So what then? You're replacing me? No, Sebastian said calmly. You replaced yourself. Langston spoke up. Mrs. Crane, with all due respect, the staff is afraid to speak in your presence. That never used to be the case. Vivian glanced at him. You're choosing her too? I'm choosing the truth, Langston said. Vivian looked back at her son. You're gambling the Whitmore legacy for a housemaid? I'm reclaiming it. From everything you tried to make it. Silence. Then Vivian asked, do you love her? Sebastian's answer was immediate. I trust her. Not the same thing. No. But more valuable in this house. Vivian's posture stiffened. If you move forward with her, you lose my support. Sebastian gave a cold smile. I lost it the day I brought Ella home. Vivian walked past him, pausing just beside his ear. Then don't expect me at the next family gathering. He didn't flinch. I won't. She walked out, heels echoing sharply on the marble. Langston exhaled. That went better than I expected. Sebastian replied, she's done. She just doesn't know it yet. In the guest house, Amara sat at the table reviewing a list of safety protocols Langston had drafted for her. Knock at the door. She opened it. Sebastian stood there. You're shaking, he said. I'm fine. You heard? Everyone heard. You and your mother don't argue quietly. Sebastian handed her a folded paper. It's official. Amara opened it. Her contract, rewritten. Live-in status. Full health. Discretionary bonus. Legal custody provision if something happened to Sebastian. This is real. Everything you've done for Ella is now protected by law. Amara looked up. Why are you doing this, really? Because I don't want to lose you. Either of you. She stepped back slightly. This changes everything. It changes nothing I haven't already felt. Amara shook her head. This isn't the moment for feelings. Sebastian replied, no, but it's the moment for truth. He looked at her for a long time, then left. That evening, Vivian packed a suitcase. Monica hovered near the doorway. Do you want me to handle the board? No, Vivian said. Let them wonder. Monica hesitated. He's not going to stop, you know. Vivian zipped her case. Neither am I. You lost this round. Vivian paused, then turned to Monica. I built this empire, and I can burn it to the ground before I watch it handed to a girl with nothing but a cleaning rag and good intentions. Monica didn't respond. Vivian picked up her case. This isn't over, she said. That night, Ella had another nightmare. Amara was there within seconds, rubbing her back, whispering gently. Sebastian stood in the hallway watching. After Ella calmed down and drifted back to sleep, Amara stepped out. She dreamt you left again, she said. Sebastian looked at the floor. I never realized how deep that fear runs. She doesn't trust easily. Amara looked at him. Neither do I. Sebastian said quietly, then let me earn it. They stood in silence, soft light spilling from Ella's room. Then Amara said, I'm not going anywhere. Sebastian nodded once, then turned and walked away. 2 weeks later, the estate had settled into a quiet rhythm. The press storm died down. The second article by Dana Liu had become more widely shared than the first. Carmen Hill's video now sat at 3.2 million views. A movement had started, small but real. Inside the mansion, Ella twirled in the garden in a yellow dress, arms outstretched. Amara watched her from the patio, folding laundry into a basket. She's smiling again, Langston said as he stepped outside with a tray of lemonade. She never stopped, Amara replied. Just had fewer reasons. He handed her a glass. And now? Now she has people who don't leave. Langston gave a small smile. Speaking of which. Behind him, Sebastian approached, blazer off, sleeves rolled. Amara turned. You sure about this? She asked. He nodded. Completely. She took a breath. Let's do it then. Later that afternoon, Sebastian stood at a podium in the garden with Ella at his side. Dozens of guests, press, and staff stood gathered under the white canopy. Vivian was notably absent. Sebastian cleared his throat. Thank you all for coming. I'll keep this brief. A few weeks ago, our home was caught in a firestorm of speculation, judgment, and falsehoods. Not just about our staff, but about our values. Today, I want to correct the record. Amara Reed is not a scandal. She's the reason my daughter is happy, healthy, and whole. And going forward, she'll be more than a caregiver. She's now the official legal guardian in my absence and executive director of the new Whitmore Foundation for Care Equity. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Amara stood to the side, stunned. Sebastian turned to her. Amara, come up here. She hesitated, then walked slowly toward the podium. Ella reached out and grabbed her hand. Sebastian smiled. We started this journey by accident. But we're standing here today by choice. And I'm proud of that. Applause followed. Flashes clicked from the photographers. But Amara barely noticed. Her eyes were on Ella. The little girl mouthed the words, "You're my family." That evening, back inside, Amara folded the final document and slid it into a drawer in the study. Sebastian entered. Still nervous? She looked at him. No. Just trying to understand what this means. It means you're not going anywhere. And if I wanted to? You could leave. But Ella might follow you. Amara smiled. She would, wouldn't she? He stepped closer. So would I. She raised an eyebrow. That sounds dangerously sentimental for a businessman. He shrugged. I've had worse investments. She laughed. He grew quiet. Stay, he said. Not just as staff. Not just for Ella. But with us. Amara looked at him. You're asking a lot, she said. I know. I have nothing. Sebastian shook his head. You have everything that matters. She held his gaze. And didn't walk away. That night, Ella called from her room. Miss Amara? Amara stepped in. Yes, baby. The little girl held out a drawing. It showed 3 figures again, this time with a house behind them and a heart over their heads. This is us now, Ella said. Amara sat on the bed beside her. Yes. It is. Ella whispered. Are you really staying forever? Amara brushed her hair back. As long as you want me. I do. Sebastian watched from the hallway, unnoticed. For once, there was nothing to say. Only something to hold on to. If this story touched your heart, tell us where you're watching from, and what moment hit you the hardest. Amara didn't wear a cape. She wore a uniform. But she protected a child, defied power, and stood her ground, with nothing but love and truth. If you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or silenced, this story was for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to keep these powerful stories alive. Your support helps voices like Amara's reach the world.